Wait, how come I'm so talking about you guys? I need to
I don't know.
hunker down.
No, you're fine.
Alright, anyway.
You're sitting on the cat.
So welcome to
Oh,
the
no.
third episode, the February episode. This is the Aquarian episode.
Great.
Last time was the Capricorn episode. We were out on the rock pit.
Right,
Right,
so
Nature.
Aquarian.
Aquarian, we're all inside.
Right, we're going to
In
be
an
more
ivory
brilliant,
tower.
though. Aren't we? We're going to be more brilliant for this one.
So what was I
Getting ready
saying?
for
Oh,
eclipse.
welcome to the third episode of Astrology Illuminated.tv with Gary Caton and Kim Mannine. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. I always want to say Mannine because it looks like
I
Mannine.
know, a lot of people do
But
that.
it's Mannine.
Mannine, Bikini Mannine.
Is
don't
that
wear
Italian?
it. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
Sicilian.
Sicilian.
If you
Where are
want
you
to know.
from?
Don't mess with her.
That's my
Yeah,
ex.
don't mess with
That's
her.
his name.
Where are you from?
Huh?
Roots wise?
No.
Roots wise?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends on how far you want to go back, right?
A couple of.
Oh, here we go. We're going to go way back. Was it the time you carried the
I'm
sword?
Irish.
Scotch Irish. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he was,
Welsh.
He was thinking,
Welsh.
centuries, generations.
We both got. I got some Cherokee. You got some.
I don't know what tribe, but I have deep resonance with the native
Well, the
tradition.
Sicilian is my ex-husband. I'm half Italian, half Irish, if you must know.
Ah, okay.
But my maiden name
So
is
you
Pietramala.
Whoa, Kit Kamala.
Pietramala.
Pietramala.
Yeah, bedrock, 6 stone.
So
That's what it means.
this
Oh,
week
wow.
I've been
Okay.
inspired by the decadence and Dwads, and we'll have to splice
do a
in
close-up,
the
right.
big close-up.
Mhm.
But in astrology, you have the 12 signs, but in each sign you can divide into 3 little mini segments called decans, right? What can you tell us about the decans, Gary?
Well, the decans originated, with the Egyptians, wasn't it?
Yeah, because they used to watch every 40 minutes a new set of stars would rise, and they divided them into 10 degree
Yeah.
segments.
And it was kind of actually more a sidereal technique in that sense, because the Egyptians were very sidereally based in terms of they were used to watching the heliacal rising of the stars, like you were talking about, and so it was originally sort of a sidereal technique, but there's the decanates are kind of a threefold division of the sign, and basically the first third takes on the quality of the pure quality of the sign. The second third,
Sort of like the cardinal part of the sign.
right? Yeah, it's kind of.
So,
it's
for
very,
instance, would be...
for instance, would be Aries. The first decanate is Aries.
Right.
The second decanate
Goes to the next fire sign.
takes
Right.
on the quality of the next fire sign,
Which is Leo.
would be Leo.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third decanate takes on the quality of the third fire sign, which is
Sag.
Sag.
That's Jerry.
So it's all about the elements and the triplicities.
So that means if you're an Aries born toward the end of Aries, the last 10 days of Aries, that means you have a Sagittarian tone to your
Right.
Aries nature. So sort of the explorer, gypsy, traveler, truth seeker comes down into your warrior, pioneer.
Yeah,
Right,
nature.
you're not a
Yeah,
true,
which is-
you're not all Aries.
Yeah, exactly. So that brings a very. It's not really even subtle. It brings a very a whole nother tone. It's like in music where you have harmonics,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a tone and then you have a subtone.
Yeah, it's not
Right.
subtle at all. I mean, my rising sign is Sagittarius and my decan is Aries, and the rising sign has to do with your health.
Yeah.
It's the body. And all my life I had migraine headaches, Mars, Aries.
Mm-hmm.
I had encephalitis, brain fever when I was born. So I was born with a fire in my head, literally.
Yeah.
So you know.
There's an excuse for all this.
So-
Wasn't Newton almost dead when he was born? Anyway, they dropped him on his
Yeah.
head too.
So if you think about it in terms of harmonics,
That's true, right?
bringing in the decanates and the decadent rulers is kind of like the difference between playing a 6-string guitar and a 12-string guitar. You know, you get all that extra resonance if you've ever heard a 12-string guitar. It's really a rich, complex sound. And so that's the whole point of bringing in the decadents. And then the Dwads is even a whole nother level, right?
Yeah, the Dwads, the Dwada Shamasha, whatever, however they say it in India. These are the 12. Each sign is a piece of the zodiac, and a fractal or a piece of something usually contains the pattern of the whole, just like in fractal geometry.
Holarchy, that's what
Yeah,
we
the
were talking
holarchy.
about last time.
So if you take each sign and divide it into 12 divisions and give the first division the power of the sign, the same sign, the pure essence, then then just keep going on down, so that the last Dwad, the last 2.5 degree segment, would be equal to the last sign of the zodiac before the main sign you're talking about. So like at the end of Gemini, the last Dwad would be Taurus, but the first Dwad would be Gemini. So going on along. which is interesting because I was thinking the other day, I was like, we start our zodiac from Aries and go around to Pisces, but on the decans we start in Aries and we end in Scorpio, and then on the Dwads we start in Aries and we end in Aquarius, governed by Saturn, the end of the old solar system.
That's interesting.
So
I never looked at it like that.
Yeah, and Robert, what was Robert Blaschke saying about
this
the
is
three
what
levels?
got us onto this.
Yeah, what was he saying about the 3 levels?
Desire being the second level, right?
Yeah. And then the causal plane
right.
of pure archetypes. Yeah, he was saying that the Dwad symbol is the causal plane of pure archetypes, and then when you attach a desire or a desire to say one of these archetypal thoughts,
right.
it sort of descends into the desire realm. So it's like the mental archetypal, and then the emotional desire, and then the signs would be the actual physical realm. So this is a way of interpreting these things at 3 different levels.
Yeah, he was also talking about it in terms of like cardinal, fixed, mutable too, right?
Yeah. Because the cardinal would be here, and then the fixed is the desire,
right,
and then the mutable out here. So, and he was talking about that with the progressions too.
Yeah.
What was in
his whole system?
Yeah, the secondary is a day for a year, so it's the 1 vibration. But then the other one was like a day
tertiary?
for a month. Yeah. Tertiary is the emotional level. Day for a month, and then a month for a year would be the mental plane. And those move a lot faster. It's like 1, 13, 27.
When I first learned astrology, I hope we're not confusing you, I remember, because my teacher Brenda always talked about decadence and Dwads, even now in her tapes for everything that ever happens. And I just couldn't even, I thought, I just have to get the basics down. This was so much information.
I know. Show number 3, we're already throwing Dwads.
I mean, it's just like, no. Well, we got a bunch of Sag stuff going on here. We're jumping to the gun. But
the moon's in Scorpio right now. We're giving you deep mysteries, but it's void, so it'll amount to nothing.
And even when I first met Robert Blaschke, I mean, we were at a cocktail bar out in California, and he was truly talking in decadence and Dwads, and I was like, now, I mean, once you get it, it's amazing.
It's pretty simple, really.
No, it is really simple.
Yeah, we'll keep flashing this diagram up there, because what I had a theory this week that was that these things you see on the outside, which I haven't finished completing yet, are the positions of the fixed stars that are along the zodiac, mapped down to the zodiac. And I thought, well, maybe the ancients got their meanings for the fixed, because when you read about fixed stars and all the fixed star books, they have 3 different fixed star books, and they're like, well, this planet's sort of the essence of Saturn mixed with a little Mercury plus a dash of Mars. And I'm like, well, maybe they took the rulers of the decanates and Dwads and got their fixed star essence.
And also the color of the star had a lot to do with the assignment of energy. I mean, they were very visually based, right? They had these mounds that they sat up upon and literally gazed at the stars.
Almond mounds.
So did you find that's how it worked from the book compared to the?
No, but what it's doing is it's giving me another level of meaning for the stars.
Right.
And if I know a star, because stars must be working on some causal plane. So if I know the Dwad of a star, it's like, wow, that star's coming in from that Dwad. So if we look at here we go. Let's just pick one here. I like Kochab. I like how the stars have all these Arabic names, because all the Arabs named the stars. So so they get these names like Kochab, And,
why don't you start with a happy one like Argol?
I was going to. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Algol or Argol?
There's 2 of them, right?
Yeah, there's
2. The demon star.
Right. No, never mind.
Which was rising in the ingress for New York City in 2001.
Oh, that's right.
The demons came to New York City.
Now, how about 29 Taurus? Isn't that Placides?
29 Taurus, that's with the
especially since someone in the room has a progressed sun.
Yeah, that's Algol. That's Algol.
Okay.
It's at 25-28, which means it's in the Taurus sign, the Capricorn decadent, and the Pisces Dwad. And the Pisces is about the mystic energy, and the 7 sisters were sort of like almost like could be seen as the sirens, casting a spell of illusion.
Yeah, Pisces is very mystical.
And look at that. The last Dwad of Taurus is Aries. And really, the 2 stars that stand out in the 7 sisters are Algol and Alcyone, however you say that. Can't speak Arabic these days. But look, all 7 sisters and all the stars behind the Pleiades cover this whole area, these last 5 degrees of Taurus, because Algol's at 25, but you always hear the Pleiades are at 29 degrees Taurus. So they're right there. And look, it's Mars. It's like Pisces Aries. It's almost a cosmic
so
gateway.
Alpha and the
The Alpha and the
So
Omega.
the Taurus really isn't the big. It's the little Mars.
Yeah, that gives it the
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So
So
interesting.
basically, what we're doing is we're breaking down the zodiac into primary, secondary, and tertiary.
Yeah,
And almost actually in reverse because the dwads are like the causal. So that's really
That's
the
That's
primary.
really where it comes from. Yeah,
Which you're used to looking at the zodiac is sort of the tertiary level
totally.
that we think is primary, but
Yeah.
really the dwads are it's kind of filtering down from the dwads through the decanate into the
Yeah,
you know.
totally. And guess what? There's 12 per sign, and 12 signs is 144 dwads. And 144 is a sacred number in a lot of cultures.
Oh yeah.
What were we gonna say, Kim?
No, I was just thinking about that. How you were saying how do we really follow our desire more then if we're doing decadence as opposed to our sun sign or the main sign? You're saying we're really doing the decadent before we do our
Yeah,
dwads.
absolutely. I mean, the decanate totally colors the sun sign. I mean, you know, like I'm in Aries,
Right.
20 degrees. It was April 10th, so I'm in the third decanate of Aries,
Which
right?
is the Sag, and you're a
Which is
philosopher,
the Sag,
scholar, the secret.
right? You know, so
And I'm an Aquarius in the middle decadent, the Gemini decadent, and I'm a writer of astrology books. you
Yeah.
know?
Well, that's what we
yeah,
would.
yeah. So
That's what you are. But I'm just saying.
you started out doing astrology
Yeah.
on a pier.
Yeah.
You know, we're Gemini, where people
Yeah.
are walking back and forth all
Totally.
over the place. But that decanate ruler absolutely colors the sun sign on a very desire level. That's
Okay.
what turns you on.
Oh, I got it.
That's what gets you fired up about stuff.
Well,
That's
here's
what
the-
causes you
here's the
to
key.
act.
Here's the key. The word desire comes from the Latin desidere, which means of the stars.
Yes.
Of the stars, you know?
Yeah.
So it's coming right down smack through the zodiac at that desire level. Because it's the interface
Right.
between the causal and the actual. Is right there. That's why the Egyptians were watching those decans, these 10 degrees. Desire of the stars.
See, I never.
That's
I always knew it was
that's cool.
important, but to see it as the desire
Yeah.
is really way more important.
We gotta start watching. You need to know
Now
your
that makes
genius.
me more of a Taurus
Yeah, yeah.
than I ever thought I was.
Yeah. Not only do you have to find out what your moon sign is
Oh,
and
I
your Venus
know.
sign and all the other signs, now you got a whole other level to work from in astrology. Which is
So
just
give an
beautiful.
example, like you were saying. So your sun sign is a certain degree of Aries. What is it? 20.
Yeah, it's 20 and a half.
Right. So then.
Yeah. So let's measure on here. So Aries is here.
Right.
So you go to 20.
And if it were 10, then he would have it in.
Yeah.
Leo.
If it was
He
10, it
doesn't.
would be Leo. 10,
Right.
10 to 20 is the Leo decadent. But his is the Jupiter or the Sagittarius decadent, governed by Jupiter. He always
Because it's the third fire sign.
And Ptolemy always says that you use the classical rulers, and so does Alan Leo for the decans and dwarfs. But Decan.
We're talking
Deca
about
means
Leo
10.
and a cat jumped on our lap. Yes.
Yeah, there it is. And she's a Gemini cat. But Deca means 10, just like December. Deca is the 10. So 10 degrees per zone, you know. And so the fact that he was born in from 20 to 30 means that he's in this Sagittarian decan of, what is this? What is this? Your sun sign?
Yeah.
Is what?
Huh?
What degree
20
is your sun sign?
Aries.
20
21.
and some change. 20. What is it?
Okay, yeah, and then you got
20,
20,
31.
so you're in the Sagittarian decan and the Sagittarian dwad.
Exactly.
Because when you start Aries, from the Aries dwad being the first 2.5 degrees, and going Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, you're in that little 2.5 degrees right there. So you're like double scholar. You're more the philosopher, scholar, seeker
Than you are.
than you are warrior.
Yeah.
I think he's more of one than you are.
I
Think
know.
about yours.
Can you believe
No,
that?
I think you were more of a Leo. Let's look at Kelly's.
Hey, no, hey,
All right, so Kelly's sun sign in Aquarius, right?
Oh, my,
It's
oh,
15.
we're doing me? Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna do. Well, just to give him an example.
Yeah. Okay,
So
so
then
my,
it's the Gemini decadent, but
Yeah.
the Leo
Yeah.
dwad.
so I'm in the sun and the, yes, I'm in the sun. So which means that my sun sign is going to have a Saturn influence, because the Aquarius classical ruler. It's going to have a Mercury influence. So right there, I'm not. Right there, you got a Saturn influence with a Mercury and Capricorn influence.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting double dose of Capricornian energy here.
Yeah.
And when I was little, people used to go, when I was 14, go, are you 18? So I was taller than my classmates.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when I would talk about stuff like astrology in the 10th grade, my teacher would be like, can you come up and teach the class?
That's so
I would teach
great.
the calculus class even, just because I was able to read the book.
Mhm.
But then the Leo would be the sun, right?
Yeah.
So,
Can I come up in front of everybody and do this?
yeah. Can I talk about some wisdom from the ancient East? You know?
So on a causal level,
Mhm.
the sun is
In its own dwad.
Yeah,
It's
in its
dignified.
own- yeah, in its
Dignified
own
by
dwad.
dwad.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
What a concept.
on a causal level, the reason, the raison d'etre, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
for that sun is to be very solar, to be a leader.
Mm-hmm.
And I've commended you in public on many occasions, and that this Aquarian sun is very group oriented. It's including a lot of he's got 2 other people here on the show with him, and several other people on each version of the channel. So it's like this very pure Aquarius humanitarian energy.
I mean, he really could have just sat on his couch and had his wife tape the show all by himself.
Exactly. I mean, he could have just been this single talking head.
But it's all
instead we have the triple talking head.
But the causal plane leadership energy is wanting to go into the desire realm to communicate a message about Aquarius,
so
astrology,
that's
metaphysics.
For us, right?
Exactly.
More
Cool.
Gemini.
Cool.
And here we are thinking you were just a Sag rising, and that was it, bigger than life.
Whoa. But hey, check this out. Here's another thing I learned about the Dwats. If you start, let's take Cancer for instance.
Okay.
If you take the sun and put it at 0 degrees Cancer,
right,
and pretend there was a new moon there on that day, new moon, hypothetically 0 degrees, 0 degrees, 0 minutes Cancer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, in 2.5 days, that sun's going to go into the Leo Dwad, right?
Yes.
Well, in 2.5 days, that moon's going to go into the Leo sign. So on a pure causal level, it doesn't work that way in reality because there's different speeds, different everything. But on a pure causal plane, the sun and the moon are always in the same sign. And so the moon's Dwad is connected. In other words, the moon is always, by its Dwad, reflecting what kind of light the sun's coming off the moon.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And here's the other thing I thought of, is that the sun and the moon govern Cancer and Leo, right? And they both oppose 2 signs, Aquarius and Capricorn, which are governed by Saturn.
Right.
Well, Saturn takes 2.5 years to go through the sign.
Ah.
They all got this, on this axis, they got this 2.5 thing with the signs and the Dwads.
Yeah.
Which is just freaking fascinating.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing we were talking about last year with the daily, the monthly, and the yearly cycles all being the same. Right? Yeah.
So that's just cool, man.
It's kind of like that triple layered meaning that Blaschke was given to it as well. Yeah. Wild.
All right, now we got to expose Kim here.
But my son's in the 8th house, I prefer not to.
Oh, it's hidden in the mystery realm. Okay, and the moon's in the 12th. All right, so your sun is in Capricorn.
I'm really not here.
Her sun's in Capricorn, 16 degrees.
Although now I can because of the Leo stuff going on.
So since it's in the middle of Capricorn, then you're in the Taurus decan.
Right.
The great
yes,
Earth
my
Mother.
desire is more about my stuff.
The gardener. Do you like to be touched?
Actually, I really prefer to shop.
Okay,
no,
shopping.
Kidding.
Okay.
Or you know.
Right. You don't like
I
sensual
like to
backgrounds?
Come on, it's in the 8th house. It still matters what house it's in. I can't tell you that publicly.
Okay, good. All right, I can tell somebody publicly if I like to be touched.
Well, that's because you don't have the sun in the 8th house.
Oh, okay, yeah. Mine's in the opposite, 2nd house.
Because he's hoping they'll touch him if he tells them.
By the way, did I tell you I like to be touched?
Well, no, the cool thing is I married a massage therapist, and when she touches me, she's like, I just follow her.
Oh, that, yes. I'm sorry. You know what, right away, isn't it sad that I think...
You went to the gutter.
I went right to the gutter.
I was just talking about, I can touch Gary, what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry, but I went right to the gutter.
That's all right, that's all right.
8th house,
but
baby.
Check it out.
See, it's my fault, but yes, I love massages. I love getting my hair done when she massages it forever. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, to
me,
Venus
that's
is
it.
Venus is
Heaven.
like, it's like being the goddess.
I mean, I'll tip her $1 million just because of that. I'm like, whatever it costs.
And it's interesting because
it's true.
You're a serious Capricorn with that sun sign, but it's the Venus Dwad, and your Venus is in Sag, saying that your life purpose also is about broadcasting information. You're doing your TV show, you're doing this.
Right, it's my desire to broadcast.
Yeah, it's your desire. It's your of the stars. It's like the stars want to make you a star.
Right.
But then your Dwad is Cancer.
So then come the kids.
Yeah. I mean, you have 3 kids, you're the moon, and the
Right.
moon is very fertile because it's exalted in Taurus in the 12th.
Right.
Spiritual kids coming in.
But back to that Venus and Sag, do I really have to take care of those kids? I really have so much more to do.
So we could say that on the causal plane, her life purpose is to moon in Taurus, 12th house. Be the spiritual, like almost like a Buddha. Because Taurus is about I am awake.
Nurturing.
And then being fertile and being all that exalted moon in Taurus, the great mother.
The great mother.
Feeding the world.
We're going to have to scan these into like we did with that chart so that we can...
Okay.
You can scan them into...
but it is interesting because I never looked at my Capricorn sun sign as a Taurus until this. I always thought it was my moon in Taurus, that was the Taurus stuff. But it's really...
It's your sun, too.
My sun sign is
Okay, let's go back to Gary and look at his moon now. We did his sun, right?
Yeah, let's get to your feminine side. Your
now
we're gonna do
other
moons.
side.
We're gonna go moons.
my anima.
Yeah,
Let's go to your anima.
your inner woman here. Okay, so your moon is in Virgo. But it's in the middle part of Virgo, so it's a Capricorn decan.
Right.
And it happens to actually be in a Capricorn Dwad, too.
Yeah.
So that means Saturn has a strong influence over your soul.
Yeah.
And your Saturn's in Aries.
Yeah, so, Mercury, Saturn, right?
So you're a warrior when you go analyzing. Because your moon wants to go analyzing, right? Breaking things down and perfecting.
In a Saturn way, like history.
Yeah,
I like
history.
To look at history.
Totally.
I like to talk about politics.
You do?
And
don't get him talking about politics.
This show's going to be a quickie because we had a big discussion about politics earlier, led by Gary.
Yeah,
totally.
They got me going on politics, which Kelly said not to do last time.
All we did was show him a picture of, Obama. That was it.
Well, plus Saturn is coming into opposition to Uranus, which means basically what?
The world order is about to change in a big way. It does every time Saturn opposes Uranus. And the last time Saturn opposed Uranus in fire signs was World War I.
Yeah. And that's when
air.
And that's when Pluto was at 0 Cancer, and now Pluto is coming into 0 Capricorn.
So we're in a time period where that world order that shifted from after the Napoleonic Wars,
where everybody married
everybody else in Europe. And everybody was related. They thought, well, now nobody will war against each other.
Let's send a royal marriage to Spain.
Wrong. That whole thing got swept away.
Yeah.
And then
somebody killed Archduke Ferdinand.
Yeah, the age of the king was gone.
Yeah.
And the world order absolutely, totally, dramatically changed. And there, as you said, with the Cancer and now Capricorn, Pluto, and that Saturn Uranus oppositions, which are going to be in Water Earth, Pisces Virgo for a while, but then they mutate into Fire Air in 2010. So there's a big burst of energy.
There's a big shift happening here.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna be like the '60s when the tanks rolled out and just said Kent State students, we're just gonna kill you, a couple of you, and that's it. It's gonna be a lot bigger.
Yeah, because the Fire Air is much more outwardly direct.
Plus, you got this whole cardinal climax cross coming out, which Pluto's going to be right down the middle, instigating the Saturn opposing Uranus.
We spent about 60 minutes talking
about
that.
I know, we went off on that.
I think it was more like 120.
Yeah. All right, so that means Gary's an analytical soul, but he's got a strong Saturn, courageous, because it's in Aries, history major here as part of his.
That is.
So on the causal plane, your soul need is to Capricorn, is to structure and organize and understand things but Saturn's in Aries, which is about pioneering, being a warrior and adventurer.
Yeah.
So it's like the structuring adventurer.
Yeah, I always want to look at structures from a new viewpoint, right? Anything new, anything that somebody else hasn't done, that's sort of where, and then the desire realm is the same, right? So that's the desire. The desire is to look at structures in a new way that's never been looked at before.
It's interesting, because the causal plane comes down and it stays the same shape in the desire realm.
Yeah.
Wow. And then it gets all mercurial.
It gets mercurial, and it's like spoken.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the next moon sign person. That's me. So what do I got going on, Kim?
Okay. Well, let's see. Moon in Gemini, 19 degrees. So that gives you Gemini, Mercury, right? How come I have Venus, Saturn?
Libra.
Oh, Libra. That was it. Okay, I was thinking. I wrote Mercury, Venus, Saturn.
Yeah, because my moon's in the middle of Gemini, so it's the Libra decan.
It's the next air sign.
So your desires are more Venusian.
Yeah. I've always felt like an artist in many ways. I paint pictures, and a lover too. I remember in high school. In high school, I was always like.
Well, now it's Libra as opposed to Taurus, so it's not about being touched as much as painting.
Well, and it's in the 7th house, so it was the lover moon because I remember in high school, meeting girls at the lake at midnight, or I remember snuck in a few windows here and there,
Right.
But, it's like,
okay, wait a minute. You know how he is about politics? That's how he is about women in his life. So we're not going to go there.
He'll get onto the MySpace forum and tell everybody about his first experiences, like he was getting ready to do there.
Yes, exactly. So
here we are. We're thinking you're all talk, right? Gemini moon.
Yes.
Instead, it's
Libra socialite.
Venus is the desire by Libra, so it is all about your relationship.
Yeah.
But
it's about relating through communication.
Right.
And where's the causal causal plane coming down though.
Saturn.
Capricorn wisdom and Saturn. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm in
So
the
do you like older women? No.
No, actually. My moon's in Gemini in the 7th. But actually, I've had a few bouts with some older women, and
Never
I
mind.
found out they're just as messed up with the younger ones, but they're stuck in a rut, you know? It's like, you ain't never changing them. At least the young ones, you can have a chance to, like,
You can
train them a
manipulate
little bit.
them a little bit.
Just kidding. But anyway, the moon's in Capricorn. So this is interesting. The sign of the comedian,
Right.
Gemini.
Right.
My moon, but from the causal plane, is coming through, like Capricorn. And I
Yeah.
love dry wit, like
Yeah.
English humor and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that guy Ben Loca. You get on YouTube and watch Ben Loca.
Oh,
I
yes.
put a funny
that's
astrology video
hilarious.
up here. He role plays all the signs. And
How,
everything.
how many of your star sign does it take to screw in the light bulb?
Yeah, how many of your star signs?
That is the funniest video.
Yeah, that's pretty hilarious. So
You
he's-
should see the rest
he's
of his videos.
structuring, right,
Yeah.
through the structure of the zodiac,
Totally.
Saturn. He's using the structure to communicate
Mhm.
Gemini. So that's very much like your moon.
Yeah, and Saturn on the causal plane affects my moon, my soul, but on the actual plane affects my sun because it governs the Aquarius.
Right.
And it's in Taurus,
Mm-hmm.
which is in the 5th house. So that creativity is my main focus in life. I just want to create all day long, you know.
So
Plus, I
lovely.
have a 5th house child who has 6 planets in Capricorn,
Ah,
and he came
Wow.
from my storytelling. I
Right.
named him after my main character,
that's right.
and I used to talk to him in the causal plane.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
so cool. We're learning things like crazy.
That's the only way he got here. Nothing else was involved. He created him with his
Immaculate
mind.
conception.
Well, no, I never used protection or anything. I always just, for real. I was like, when I'm in a long-term
Good thing
relationship,
you weren't with me.
we were together for
You
5 I
would've
know.
got 50 kids.
We're about to get to your fertility here in a second. But
Oh, boy.
for 5
No,
years we were
okay.
together, and only one time I heard a voice in the room, like a laughter, and I looked down at her. It was right before she had been working about 2 hours, so we had, it didn't late afternoon. Late afternoon.
All right, Kelly, spare us the details and get to the theme.
All right, to the point.
And he has got
The point
about a
was,
kid.
the point was, I said, "Did you hear that laughter?" And he was like, and she was like, "Yes." And I was like, "You did?" Because it was, I knew it was the causal plane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Arion in the causal plane.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I said, "Did you hear that?" And she's like, "Yes." And I was like, "What?" And she said, "Laughter." And I was like, "Whoa!" I said,
Wow.
"It's Arion. He wants to come through." So I just
Yeah.
went, let it fly. The next thing you know, 2 weeks later, pregnancy test said, "Boom! Arion's on schedule." We didn't even have to go get that
So
test.
if you
for
hear laughter in your room in the middle of the night, boom!
Yeah,
Time to have a baby.
there's a kid coming
Time
down the
to
pipe.
make a baby.
It's funny.
Damn.
It's funny how the perception has changed about childbearing. In the old days, when someone's having a baby, everybody's like, "Woohoo! Another member of the village is coming." Nowadays, it's like, "Oh God, you're going to be trapped for 18 years." You know, the perception has shifted from like it's a burden now to back when before it was like, "Yeah, way to go."
Well, they had
Future
somebody
of
to
the
work
tribe.
the
Performed your
farm if you
function.
had
Yeah.
them. No, you had somebody to do the work. Now the kids don't do anything. They sit around the house.
Yeah, now they play Xbox.
Now they
games.
just want things.
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
didn't say that.
I just need a 42-inch TV player HD
No.
TV for my Xbox. Okay.
It's not true, but
Anyway,
anyhow.
what are we doing? Oh, Kim, let's go look at your.
We did look at my moon. That's how we started it.
No.
Taurus, didn't we?
No. Your moon's in Taurus,
Right,
but it's also in the Taurus decan.
right,
But it's also in the Leo.
right. Drama queen.
Dwad.
Yeah.
So you're so on the causal
So,
plane.
radio show, TV show.
So yeah, so we're
Well,
talking about.
behind the
Remember,
scenes,
remember
though,
my
in
son.
12th house.
Remember my son was on in the Leo on the causal plane. Your moon is on there, so it's a perfect connection between me and you.
And the causal plane.
Yeah,
Okay.
You guys are.
we're
And
stars.
What happens
We're
to you,
stars.
Gary?
I don't
We're
know.
stars.
Do I have a Leo connection on the causal plane?
I think you do. Yeah, you're ascendant.
Yeah.
There's ascendant on the causal
Sun, moon,
plane.
ascendant.
We have sun, moon, ascendant.
That's
Ding, ding,
sweet.
ding. We're triple Leo right here.
Yeah,
It's time to start the show. Oh, that's the membership. Anyway,
Yeah, that's
cool.
wild. Sun, moon, ascendant.
That is
Triple
cool.
Leo.
On the causal
Yeah.
I
plane.
thought we were a good team just from the regular chart without all of
Yeah.
this. Who
Yeah.
knew? We're
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
better
yeah.
than we
Yeah.
thought.
And our goal is to causal you to go get your chart done and learn about astrology.
Right.
That's awesome.
Not only do you need your moon sign, ascendant sun,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
need the decanates and dwads.
Wow. So going to
So-
Gary's moon now.
So
We
Yeah.
do my moon.
Venus.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Now we're back to the top. Now we're going to
So
go to your ascendant.
maybe this is a thought. So
Yeah.
I'm just back to myself because
Okay.
it's Leo and the causal sign.
The causal
So
Leo.
if
Hey,
it's
we're
Taur-
about to get to my Leo
If,
here.
if it's
Yeah.
Taurus,
Yeah.
Leo, so
Okay.
it's Venus, Sun, right? So
Uh-huh.
the Sun is in Capricorn, so then it's like, oh gosh.
Wait.
always having to work at
A
it.
structured sun.
Oh,
you
yeah.
need
I
a
was saying, so I
structure.
go back to the sun.
You
in
need a
Capricorn.
structure to be
Okay.
the sun.
Yeah.
You need a radio
Oh,
show.
so
or
it's
a TV
interesting
show
because on the desire plane,
but right
she
on
wants
desire,
Venus.
right.
And Venus in Sag, she wants that higher knowledge, the
yeah.
quest for truth, a journey.
Right.
But then the causal plane, what she needs on the archetypal realm is the Capricornian discipline and wisdom
Right.
Gotcha.
coming down.
Gotcha. Okay, so the cause, the root cause, the raison d'etre is to be that Capricorn,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
right, structure, vehicle
Mm-hmm.
for the Venusian
And
energy.
I think it's interesting. She's born on the waxing quarter here too. The moon is
Right.
reflecting the light. It's building in light. It's like the heroic phase of I got to create a structure to contain the spiritual vision deposited in my soul.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the spiritual vision is very wise and also Sagittarian, far-seeing.
Yeah,
With a Venus.
Mhm.
That's a cool moon, girl. You got a good moon there.
you got it going on.
Don't moon me. Just kidding.
Oh, you don't want me to.
All right. Gary's. Let's go to Gary's Leo 9 self. Here, I gotta break out the little
Yeah.
ponytail here.
Wait, first of all, we would
Let
have.
my Leo self shine.
Yeah. Let's
Well,
see it.
the-
Let's see it.
First, we had a little issue with Gary because we
I
had
like that.
we were trying to decide if his Aquarius rising was ruled by Saturn or
Uranus.
Well,
So he's
Call-
pulling out his
according to
ponytail to
Ptolemy-
prove it's Uranus and not
It
Saturn.
is, yeah. No,
okay.
Okay.
Classically, you are governed by Saturn. The modern ruler, they would say, is Uranus.
Tell him
But
the
Uranus
degree.
is in Virgo for everybody. So,
it's 1720
but-
Aquarius.
but it is in the 8th house. So, by personal, because it takes 2 hours to go through a house, 7 years to go through a sign. So, personally, I would say Uranus would give an 8th house intensity to his outer character.
Right.
But that Saturn would give a 2nd house sort of mountain man strength, Aries, warrior energy that looks at you like, don't move wrong or I'll like get my sword out. Energy to his ascendant.
That's
you know?
what happened before.
Yeah. He went and poked the sword in the wall.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the Dwads and the
So it's
decadence.
Aquarius, Gemini, and Leo.
Yeah, because it's 17 degrees, so that's middle Aquarius, which is Gemini,
Mhm.
which is interesting. That's where my sun is, and my sun's on your ascendant. So we have this. We have the same 3 for sun and ascendant,
Yeah.
Dwad and everything. So we're both about Aquarius, astrology, metaphysics, the
Mhm.
cutting edge of the future, technology, and then the Gemini, communicating,
it.
yeah,
Mhm.
and then
And
of course the Leo. We're going to shine for it. And we're going to be leaders, no matter
Right.
what.
He's
Because
wearing it.
we
See,
have-
we really have it, but he's wearing it.
Yeah. It's
He's
on
becoming it.
my persona.
Well, no, he's learning to become it. You grow towards your
Okay.
ascendant.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about the causal plane, all of us having Leo in there, you on the moon, him in the ascendant, me on the sun,
Mhm.
is that means that from the causal plane where the angels live, like
Yeah.
Joan of Arc was being guided by the
We
angels.
all share an angel.
Yeah, we're all
So-
sharing an angel of leadership, of the king, of the queen,
Leo, yeah.
of the royalty, and the generosity of
So-
giving something to the world.
What
you
is
know?
that? Is that Gabriel? Would be the Leo angel?
I
maybe?
think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Gabriel was one of the leaders.
Mhm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gabriel's sort of over here looking down on all of us and saying, "Yeah, this is my family," so to speak. And then it kind of gets put through different lenses.
Mhm.
In the we all have our own desire natures, our independent desire natures,
Mhm.
and then that's where it takes fire in our soul,
Mhm.
and then we manifest it through the lens of the regular zodiac.
Totally.
Yeah.
Right.
The actual zone.
So
and
then
also,
you look at this and go to the rulers, right? Okay.
well, one more thing is that since the first house governs the body and
Right.
hence also the health,
Mm-hmm.
you would have to look at not only Saturn, the knees, the bone, the skins, the hair, the teeth, the nails, but also Mercury, the lungs, the nervous system, and the sun, the heart, and the spine, like the Leo parts. So those would be like me, with my Mars, my headaches.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have anything like that, like health stuff?
Well, I mean, definitely the Mercury thing.
Circulation.
Yeah, stress. I tend to feel it like if I get overstimulated,
Mhm.
like Mercury. Like Gemini.
Mhm.
Like a kid.
Your circuits get blown.
Overstimulated, it's like, you just gotta go chill out for a while, just
Totally.
sit in the sun. Like yesterday, I was out sitting in the sun and just soaking up the sun
Mhm.
and getting
Cool.
back on the causal.
Mm.
Yeah,
So yeah, it'd be good meditation for you to have a causal meditation about your heart, sun,
yeah.
your physical.
Well,
heart.
I mean, it's also interesting to me that the sun was in my dream, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
there
So
you go.
I mean, I don't know I don't know where that comes, on a causal level somewhere. The sun was speaking to me through that dream.
Yeah.
So,
Well, even on the desire level, you're governed by Mercury on the desire.
yeah.
And your Mercury's conjunct Venus.
Yeah.
So on that,
wow.
on that
Check that
desire plane, Venus
So-
was coming in.
The sun came through the causal realm.
Yeah, the causal.
into the desire.
Yeah, the Venus and the
conjunct
desire through the Mercury. Oh
Yeah.
my
Now,
God.
did you
That's
talk
wild.
about your dream already for this show?
The dreams on the,
It's
on
yeah,
the
on
YouTube
yeah.
channel. Yeah.
Yeah, he got into astrology from a dream of the sun aligning with Venus, and you can hear all about that on January's interview with Mr. Gary King.
Yeah.
All right, so
So that's interesting.
yeah, so going to the next guy, Kelly. What do we have? Ascendant,
The
right?
next guy,
The next guy.
the other end of the
The next
couch.
person in the list here.
Okay, you're
Um,
ascendant.
I'm Sag. See the big chin, big thighs, but that's the actual realm. What about the desire level?
Hey, you're my wife on the causal level. I'm the sun, ascendant, and you're the moon.
Should I leave
really?
the room
So-
now so you two can get together?
But yeah, so
I'd
Aries
like to
is
be
there.
touched.
So
Depends.
So Aries, and I've always felt like a warrior. I played football at Centaurs High School, and it was the home of the Warriors.
It's a persona.
And I was the leader of the team. And it's
Yeah.
funny that my Jupiter went right through Boulder, on the astrocartography map.
Nice.
Jupiter came from this world right to the ascendant,
Yeah.
and I was the leader of the Centaurs,
There's the ascendant.
the
right?
warrior,
Yeah.
the Centaur warriors. And then I also did a lot of healing in Cancer energy because I was a nurturer. You know what's funny you say about that being able to group? In high school, I was so unusual in my own little clique that I wasn't part of any cliques, but I was friends of all the cliques.
Right.
Like I was friends with the stoners and the jocks and the nerds and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
Isn't
I
that
was
funny that those are the names for them?
exactly. But I was friends with all of them. The Mexicans, my best friend was Mexican, so I was just friends with all of them, and I was actually united all of them.
Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cancer.
The one tribe.
Totally.
Well,
Yeah.
Did you
Nice.
say what it was? 18 Sag, Jupiter, Aries, and the Mars and the Moon.
It's 18 Sag. Yes,
Right.
it's Sag set sign,
Mhm.
Aries decan, Cancer Dwad,
Yeah.
which is interesting because it brings the moon back to the ascendant.
Yeah.
Mhm.
On the causal plane, my moon is what's important, and my moon's in Gemini, and I pretty much live in my
Opposite the
head.
ascendant.
Opposite
Yeah.
the ascendant, I live in my
Yeah.
head a lot. I even married a Gemini woman,
There you go.
to come in.
Twice in the same year.
Yeah, twice in the same year. Yeah. And I met her through an astrology reading.
Mm-hmm.
She
yeah?
came to me through my career, right here in
Yeah,
Asheville,
yeah,
where
yeah,
Uranus is
yeah.
on my midheaven, and the moon in the 7th has a crossing line going right through that Uranus, right in Asheville.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That's
the crossing
awesome.
line, how they go around the longitude?
Right.
This was right in
Oh,
Asheville,
right.
the crossing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, hey, wife from career as an astrologer.
Nice.
Anyway, so that's pretty cool about the Dwads there. I'm a moon person on the council. And you know what? I've looked in the mirror sometimes from the side, and I kind of look very lunar, like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
this side like lunar thing going on. When I look from the front, it's very like
Right.
Mars,
Right. Right.
and then there's this
That's
Sag thing
interesting.
too.
Yeah. So the profile.
Yeah, so the different angles of your profile can bring out these different Dwad things.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So back to Kim.
Oh,
We didn't
rising?
did we do her rising?
No.
She's Gemini rising. When I met you, I didn't think you were Gemini rising.
No, I look so Taurus.
But you do. I've seen Geminis that look like you. With the eyes, there's an
Oh.
eye thing,
Okay.
Yeah.
like the
Blue
intellect,
eye.
Eyes.
the intellect and the eyes and all that. And there's like they always have these like oval like sort of faces, these smooth like these
Well,
dog lines.
Gemini rising are usually bird-like and thin,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but you got all this other stuff. You got
All right,
Libra.
but that's why now. Here I thought it was my Taurus moon that I was more, but it's not.
Mhm,
It's all
mhm.
about my decadence and Dwads.
Yeah. Her decan is she's in Libra decan, which is Venus,
16
Mhm.
degrees Gemini.
which makes you
so
more
The
voluptuous.
next
Exactly.
air sign,
But-
Libra.
Yeah. And
it's-
then of course the causal Sag, right?
Right.
Which is Jupiter, and Jupiter's in Sag, which makes you all hoss.
A horse.
A
And my
horse.
Venus is in Sag, so I overdo everything.
Yeah, totally. So we
You
have
know,
that connection
The
there.
Libra.
Yeah,
Venus
I mean,
and
I can
Sag.
see the Libra a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're a very
Mm.
persuasive negotiator type.
Oh, yeah? This is what we're doing now? No.
Yeah.
I suddenly run the show? No.
Yeah. So that's kind of
Just
cool.
teasing. Hmm.
So yeah, so
No, Libra.
one way you
I see the Libra.
one way you could look at it is I always say that your rising sign is your PhD in your chart, like what you're
Mhm.
going for in this life. And with Gemini, it's conversation through spontaneity. Libra, it's intimacy through balance and harmony. And Sag is faith through divine inspiration. So you got like a triple PhD of these things, but from the causal and desire realms too.
Yeah, we were talking about that on the drive up, right? About that faith in the process.
Right. Yeah, completely.
Yeah, and that's the causal realm. That's where you're channeling.
Cool.
The causal realm is through that faith, Jupiter, right?
I can see you right now at the group. Can I get an amen from my angels out there?
Well, like everything that ever happens to me, I'm not prepared for, but I just do it because I believe it wouldn't be happening unless I was supposed to be doing it.
Faith in the process of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
That life
completely.
that everything happens for a reason.
I won't sell my house and I'm not meant to move. I always do this kind of. It's meant to be. That's my biggest line.
Yeah, right.
Totally.
Which I would have thought it would have been something else, but it's my rising sign right there.
So let's go back to now. We got Gary's progress chart, and we're looking.
But everything does say the same, have the same story though, pretty much.
Oh yeah, and it's when you see stories repeating.
No, but we're repeating the story, and it repeats itself over and over.
And when you see it repeating, that means you really need to pay attention to that story in the chart because it's like you keep seeing it again and again. So this is just another layer of information that gives you the repeat from other places in the chart.
Right.
And that makes it even more important.
It is, yeah.
You know, because you have all that Jupiter already, with all the Sag stuff. You know.
Right. So there, and I would have normally, if you didn't know about this, think, well, that's what it all is. But it's saying the same thing here.
When you guys said that, it reminded me of a poem by Antonio Machado where he says, just a line he says, he goes, "Everything passes and everything remains, but our lot in life is to pass, to change, passing, making roads over the sea."
Yeah, to be one with the process of life. Yeah, to organically develop.
Flow,
Yeah.
We don't need bloodshed to do that? Last I heard we needed some bloodshed.
What was the principle in there?
I'm sorry, but that was
We're talking politics. This is
this is cultures and civilizations evolving through. Things don't change unless there's some bloodshed, right? Like Gandhi and Martin Luther King.
Even with Gandhi and Martin Luther King, I mean, you know, we were talking about the Saturn opposite Uranus, and that, you know, the last time they were in fire air was World War I, and that you know, there's some bloodshed usually involved with that whole process. I mean, even look at the myth, right? When Saturn took his sickle and chopped off the phallus of Uranus, the blood that fell on the ground.
Uranus doesn't have a phallus?
It's a fallacy.
That's the fallacy of anal thinking.
Uranus. Uranus. He was Uranus, the sky god.
I know.
When the blood that fell on the ground became the Furies.
Yeah.
So when there's bloodshed, you see, and you can see that in the myth, right? When the blood was shed, for instance, you know, like with the Freedom Riders, Martin Luther King led that whole movement. When the blood was shed, the Furies became released. People became furious about this whole thing and what Martin Luther King was doing. What Martin Luther King was doing was he was doing what a therapist does with a client on a world stage. He was showing them the difference between their real self and their ideal self. And shrinking that gap between the ideal self and the real self is what therapy is all about. Okay, so
Go
he says,
Barack Obama!
Here we have this big ideal of a nation that's founded on all people are equal, right? And here we have the reality that people are getting attacked by dogs and with fire hoses and beat up because they ride in the wrong part of the bus. What's wrong with this picture? You see? And that's how change comes about.
Right.
You know, it's a necessary part of the process, unfortunately.
Totally.
So.
All right. So Gary's midheaven. We're looking at Gary's
quick version.
Change comes through bloodshed. Well, if you think of it as a ritual, you know, the blood sacrifice.
We heard the long version, so he learned.
Well, the ancient word for sacrifice meant to make sacred. It still does. Sacrifice means facet is the verb to make sacred. And so when they would chop up an animal and spill blood on the altar for this sacrifice from the age of Aries, which needed some blood, you know, it's just like, well, and it seems gruesome to us, but even the Bible's full of how to cut the bird's head off and do these blood sacrifices. It's like, well, what was that all about, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think your key on it there is that you take some blood to make something change, to make the sacred come down into life, so that the change can happen through the divine. You know?
But I don't think it has to be less drastic as we go along than it has been, and it has.
Well, there is one less drastic way that the blood can renew through the menstruation cycle. Happens every month for half the population.
Well, and even just in the birth
process. So then do we need Hillary as our leader?
Okay.
Oh wait, never mind. She's beyond that anyway.
We digress.
We digress.
Damn, we had to invite that damn woman here.
Well, wait. If
Okay.
if the word con means like negative con, then we should be into progress, not congress. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, midheaven, progressed. You have a 13 degree 25 minute midheaven, which means you're in the Capricorn sign. You're progressed midheaven.
13 Capricorn.
The Taurus decan,
Right.
in terms of your evolving careering in the world,
Right.
your life calling, and then you're in the Gemini Jawad.
Right.
Wow.
So right now I'm writing a lot, doing research.
Writing about Venus Taurus.
Venus,
the goddess.
Right.
Yeah.
Series.
Nice.
Yeah.
Serious. Yeah.
And bringing that into a structure, Capricorn.
And we looked at the Sabian symbol. It said, an ancient bas relief carved in granite remains a witness to a long-forgotten culture.
The goddess. Yeah.
Everyone should look at their
Right there.
progressed ascendant
And midheaven.
Midheaven. It's
Yeah.
a real and the Sabian symbol for
Yeah,
it.
the
It really
Sabian
tells
symbols
a
are cool.
story.
What are the Sabian symbols, Kim, for the camera? For the audience?
We're going to talk about
Just the average Joe. They don't know what a Sabian symbol is.
Well, it's just a symbol for each degree of the sign, explaining what each degree is all about. But I'm not as technical as you guys. I'm
It's
more,
like a
you know,
story that goes along with the degree.
Yeah, it's just a modern sort of tarot cards.
Maybe
of
we
the
can talk
zodiac,
about
you know.
how it all happened.
Yeah.
Elsie Wheeler and
Yeah, Elsie
Working
Wheeler
with
was this
guns.
psychic, and Mark Edmund Jones went to the park with a bunch of blank cards and said, 5 degrees Taurus, a woman rising out of the sea! No, whatever, you know.
That's Aries. Isn't
Oh,
it?
that's one of the areas, yeah.
9
yeah.
degrees Taurus.
I
We
was
did
just
that.
giving an
Right
example, I
proximity,
was trying to be all exact. Anyway.
Okay.
So that's your midheaven. Well, let's just go ahead.
Let's do midheavens because we have to
Let's do
find
midheaven.
out quickly.
All right, midheavens. Next, we have Kelly Lee Phipps. Oh, that's me.
Okay, progressed midheaven.
So my progressed midheaven, this is my evolving state of my careering right now.
Mm-hmm.
Life calling. What's the world calling me to do? Vocation comes from box boys.
Yeah, calling.
Okay, so it's in Scorpio for this 30-year period, right?
The
But-
occult.
Your occult mystery. I'm here to change the world. But it's in the
Pisces decadent.
decadent
And the Pisces.
Whoa, and Pisces Dwad.
Dwad.
Ding ding. Oh, we got a double going on here.
Yeah.
So Mars,
So the
Jupiter,
visionary
Mhm.
through medium of film.
Wow.
Pisces, right? Pisces,
Yeah.
Neptune.
And I started it when it was in the Pisces. Well, no, it wouldn't have been Pisces. It would have been the Scorpio
Scorpio.
Aquarius. I was
Oh,
trying to bring about
right.
a transformation
Yeah.
Mhm.
of astrology, the return of the Magi.
Right.
Ah,
Wow.
Awesome.
And now you're doing it.
And look at the symbol. It said, a drowning man is being rescued. Astrology, you said with the drowning man?
Yeah, basically, I mean, you know, astrology is being sort of drowning in the sense that this whole concept of Pluto being demoted,
Yeah.
you know, and so it's like, you know, there's this crisis going on within astrology, and which is kind of like a drowning man, and Kelly, and there's a big, you know, there's a big division in astrology among different camps of the traditional versus modern, and Kelly's bringing in this film which is going to rescue this
astrologers.
drowning man.
Oh, yeah.
which is
And look,
pretty cool.
during the conference, it says, my saving symbol is going to move over to 11 degrees. It says, a brilliant assembly of dignitaries
UAC.
at an official embassy ball.
Yeah.
And we're going to be in one of those big ballrooms.
Yeah, for the movie.
You're going to show the movie for the
So-
first time.
It's
That
the
is so
return of
perfect.
the Magi. Okay, anyway.
You almost wonder if he was sitting there at night planning the Sabian symbols out for the exact moment of the release, but life doesn't work that way.
No.
He's not that
Always-
smart.
Yeah. It just
But
worked.
I'm
was
just
the
saying,
angels.
well, that's
It was
the
the
best part,
angels.
is to look back
Yeah.
and see how perfectly.
Absolutely. The angels are watching over him, man. They got Jupiter angels
Pisces.
piping through this vision for this you know, and it was at your Jupiter return that the whole vision for the movie came to you. So whatever angels are sitting on Jupiter, man, they were working on you.
Listen, Jupiter Neptune conjuncted the 12th. I mean, you're doing the high side of it. I mean,
Right.
I know a
And
lot don't do that.
the
very-
funny thing,
you know.
in the progress chart, which this progress center would point to, the Jupiter is conjunct Neptune in the 11th,
Right.
making a film about astrology.
Right.
So the progress chart even.
Too good.
Yeah. I mean, man, we're learning some stuff.
Too cool.
And Pisces. If I was still in high school working at Domino's and ordered pizza, I'd be like Pisces.
I know.
Right?
If you ordering Pisces.
They call them pies, you know, when they come out of the oven.
I figured you'd be smoking something
No,
instead.
no. I remember
That's my
smoking
thoughts.
That
when I
comes
was
Before
before.
Pisces.
That's the
Before the
causal
pizza.
realm, and then the pizza is the desire realm.
Okay. Pizza Pisces, please.
Yeah.
Pizza,
Pisces,
pizza.
Pisces. All right. So Kim, what do you got going on, Frey? Progressed midheaven.
Okay, what do I have at my progressed midheaven? Oh, I think I'm the star, don't I?
Oh yeah.
You are Pisces.
Yes. Yeah.
I had no idea what was happening.
No, she's
I'm looking at the
Mine
natal
is
chart.
10 Aries.
10 Aries.
Aries.
So your revolving midheaven is Aries for the long 30 years, whatever, 25 years, however long it takes.
So it's
but the decan, you just entered Leo.
The second decade.
Yeah, which is the Leo.
Leo.
Yeah.
Sun.
The shining
and
sun.
what happens? I end up in a TV show.
Yeah,
this
she's
show.
got her own TV show.
And you're in the Leo Dwad. So
And
the
Leo
causal
Dwad,
realm and the
the
desire
causal
realm.
realm is saying, Leo, Archangel Gabriel is saying, you must shine. And the desire realm is saying, I want to shine.
Yeah.
And the actual physical realm is saying, I must shine.
Yeah.
You know, it's
I must leave. I must leave.
leave.
Look at the Sabian symbol for the 11th degree of Aries.
Oh, yeah.
President of the Republic, ruler of one's
She
country.
just became president of her local astrology organization.
And,
Woohoo!
and I didn't even ask for it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the universe asked for it.
Right,
The
and it was-
causal and the desire plane asked for it.
But it's just interesting how it does all apply. And there's a Sabian
Totally.
symbol describing how my life just changed like this.
Yeah, and the desire plane works
But
from the
minute.
astral, which you can really feel in your dreams.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so if you were paying attention to your dreams, see, the last, 10 years you've been fighting this battle, Aries in career.
Right.
And now suddenly, you're in the Leo decan.
And that's exactly how
It's
it
taking on
happens.
this new creative
Right.
dimension,
Right. Isn't that? It's just fabulous how
Yeah.
it works because I would never picture myself out there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm used to always hiding with my son in the 8th house. No, I didn't want to be out there. I couldn't
Now
even
it's
imagine.
like, no, you must do Leo.
Yes, you must. And then I take over help the group out with Gary saying, "I'll facilitate. Don't worry, you don't have to go out there." And what does he do the first meeting?
Yeah.
Go ahead, you
Yeah.
can
Get
do
out
it.
there.
Oh my God! Thank God that morning they had changed into the sun decadent and
And I'm
She's like,
over
Gary,
here
you're
trying
going
to-
to facilitate, aren't you? And I was like, well, eventually.
And I'm over here trying to set up the speaker, and I'm like, "Where's Kim? She's the leader. Where's she's at?" I was calling her on the phone. Get here.
I was waiting for my progressed decadent and Dwad to go into the sun, and it happened that minute. And I said, "I can do this."
And the funny thing, on the way to that one
She
meeting,
stepped into her Leo.
but on the way to that one meeting, there was this huge accident that tried to delay her.
Uh-huh.
And the funny thing was, if she would have been back in her accident, Aries phase, she would have probably been in that accident.
Oh, man.
But no, she was here to be lead. She went sun. She
Oh
pushed it
yeah,
right
we
through
got
it.
there,
Nice.
but we have to tie it up. So,
Okay.
'cause
Anyway,
it's 1:45.
so we can't do anymore.
Go ahead.
What about the
Who's
ascendant?
It's
next?
gonna be 3 o'clock.
Okay. All right. Here's the ascendant.
43.
When do you gotta go?
Now.
10 minutes ago.
Oh, 10 minutes ago. Okay.
It's 1:45 already.
Right.
But
Yeah.
All right.
you want to tie
You
it
got
up?
me started on
All right, let's tie it up.
man.
Ascendant. Okay. Gary, you have your
Oh, the progress.
progressed ascendant. Yeah. You have Aries 2356,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's in the Sagittarian decan. It's in the Capricorn Dwad.
Right. So Mars, Jupiter, Saturn.
Yeah, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. So
Hmm.
it's time to get disciplined about your philosophy of life and get motivated. And the
Right.
Sabian symbol is a double promise reveals its inner and outer meaning.
Right. And I'm writing a book with a Gemini.
Yeah. and we're both having like different sides to write. The inner, the outer.
Yeah,
the
you're
double
doing the
promise.
inner, and
Yeah.
I'm doing the mundane, the outer.
I love all
Totally.
that.
Pretty
is so
cool.
neat.
Yeah, very cool. All right, and then
Dude,
Kelly, ascendant. I have Capricorn rising for the last 22 years or so, but it's in the Virgo decan and the Virgo Dwad.
Wow.
And so I'm over here doing all this editing
Yeah.
of the films of the midheaven, the
Right.
ascendant
Yeah.
serving the midheaven
Cut and
vision.
splice. Cut and
Cut
splice.
and splice, cut and splice, and the Sabian symbol is a soldier receiving 2 awards for bravery in combat.
Ah.
Whereas last year was a general being defeated,
Yeah.
accepting
yeah.
defeat gracefully.
Right. Right.
So
I
very
mean, you
interesting.
really, with all your interviews, you're doing a great job interviewing people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're really taking all of your knowledge and been able to.
Yeah,
really
and
put
as
it
much as I
down.
jabber when I do interviews,
No,
I
you
try to
do.
stay really quiet and I
Yeah.
let them
Saturn.
But
Yeah.
would you have been
Yeah.
able to do that before it went into the Virgo, you think?
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, no, because see, when I was before I went into Virgo, I was in like a training phase where I was reading
Right.
books about how to conduct interviews.
Oh,
And,
you
yeah,
did.
I was in my
His
how to make
research.
a documentary.
Yeah. He did his
I was in a
research.
I was reading books about how to make documentaries.
Wow.
You know, and it was just like, whoa.
You know what I like about that? The word educate comes from educate.
Yeah.
It means to bring out.
To bring out from within.
To bring
Yeah.
out. And that's what you're doing with the movie when you interview these people. You're bringing out.
Yeah, that's my goal.
Bring out.
I sit down and say, you
To
know what?
educate the public.
Totally.
About astrology.
Because when I sit down with them, I say, I ask everybody the same basic questions, because I'm not really interested in my questions. I'm interested in getting you excited about the love that you have for this craft.
The desire realm.
Yeah.
I'm the violent storm, and then the violent storm must leave because the storm will erupt.
Oh, yeah, see, we're ending on this.
I'm gonna Virgo moon daughter with her watch.
A violent storm in a residential canyon filled with valuable homes. And now she lives in Asheville.
Right.
Yeah, snowstorms been coming through.
Price real estate in the country.
And I have a home up in a mountain with a canyon and the
In
view.
Fairview.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that's the high price.
Yeah. And you're saving. That's your saving symbol. But look,
and it is in a gated luxury home
Cancer
area. I know. Isn't that funny?
Your Cancer rising, still going to be for the next 3 or 4 years. But then you got you're in the Pisces Dwad film.
Jupiter.
She's doing a lot of big film, the TV show.
Yep.
And then Venus, Taurus there.
Yeah.
Since Sag, so expect to that.
So Taurus, Dwad. So in the causal realm,
but I'm not going to pay for any of these things. Isn't that Taurus? I'm going to have to get touched.
Well, the causal realm is
Oh, right.
The causal realm is giving you the Venus.
Right.
Right, but then you're filtering it down through the Jupiter and into the Moon. So it's just the causal realm hasn't caught up with the hasn't manifested fully into the reality.
And if you think of it, the sun governs
my
your
desire
second
isn't
house.
that. The desire is really just Jupiter.
Yeah.
And it is.
And the sun governs the second house of resources and money. And it's really stimulating the midheaven, the president. See, so if you stick with this, responsibilities have been mantled upon you.
Right.
Not just you're looking out at the world through all these projects, then the money thing will come.
And look how my progressed sun is opposite my natal Pluto exactly at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
That's my progressed Pluto. But
Yeah,
my natal's 5. Isn't that interesting?
So you can wake up in the morning and safely say, I have the power!
I am good! So good, my daughter's gonna kill me. No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right.
This was fun.
So anyway.
Decanates and Dwads, the hidden realms of the angelic and desire natures in the chart.
And we hope we have added another layer to your understanding of astrology. And with that, I think we should throw all these up in the air as like Decanates and Dwads. See you next month.
Thanks.
That was good. Did you see?
Come back now.
Did you see all the sheets on here?
Yeah.
It was perfect.